In the future, will we need to be specialists? Will we need to specialize in certain things? I also think in the next 10 years, there may be more humanoid robots than actual humans on Earth. I'm gonna relate all this to side hustles. Let's go for a ride, we'll talk about it.
Business on the bike with Brooks, yeah!
All right, I'll save the craziest one for last because I don't actually know if it's gonna be 10 years. It could be less, it could be more, the humanoid robot thing, but we'll get back to that. I'll talk about it, but we'll go ahead and start from the top. About, are we gonna have to specialize? Like, especially in the world of business and entrepreneurship, and specifically, like, if I'm talking to you, you're probably either a solopreneur or maybe you work at a company and you're looking to build a company on the side, which means like, you're probably not gonna have to work with like hundreds of people. I don't know how to do that. I don't have that skill set. I work with a handful of people. That's where my skills lie. And so that's the crowd that I'm talking to. The question is, are you gonna have to get very specific and specialized? And I think that as AI advances in tools and softwares, I think the softwares are going to become smarter and smarter as they already are. And I think they are going to specialize. I think what that's going to do is that it's going to allow for us, you and me, to be more creative and be able to orchestrate and put together the pieces of these very smart, special tools. Now, I think this is mostly a good thing. I'd say, hey, it could be a good thing and a bad thing, but it kind of just is what is. It's like the direction that I see it going in. You may agree or disagree. I'd love to, chat with you in comments about that. Here's where it would be good. It'll be good because you're not going to have to become an expert specialist in a specific, very targeted field necessarily. Now, there will still be specialists in the world, of course, but I'm talking about in the world of like business entrepreneurship. Now, you may have a field or a certain item that you specialize in, but in general, you're going to be able to be more of a generalist. So the pro, you're not going to have to take up that special case knowledge of being an expert number cruncher per se. Now, what's the negative? Let me take the other side of that. If you are a specialist already, and that's all you know, well, that could lead to some problems, So when people are worried about AI taking over their positions or their jobs or whatever, it's kind of funny that we were always taught like you need a specialization, become an expert at something. And now the pendulum is swinging back the other way. If you're an expert in one area and that one area gets disrupted by AI, well, you're in trouble, my friend. So you need to take on more knowledge in a general sense that can help direct the specialist tools. All right, so that's what I think is going to happen. I think the pendulum is going to swing back the other way, and we're going to need to have more general knowledge than maybe we've had before. Another side note, if you want side hustle ideas, I keep a running list. I've got a list of 100 plus, I think. So if you want to get overflowed and overwhelmed with business ideas, I got you. Just sign up for my email list. You can Google Brooks Conkle, you can go to my website, you sign up at the top. You can go to fulltimesidehustler.com. Same place, it'll get you there. You just sign up with your email. The other thing I do is I actually update folks every week with like my projects and what I'm doing and what's going on, which I think is kind of cool. It gives me an outlet to talk about it, but it also, I think it's helpful for people to be able to like see what's possible. And some stuff is working and some stuff is not, right? And if it's not working, I'm like, hey, this isn't, this is slowly growing or this is booming or whatever. And I'm very diversified and have a lot of different things. And so maybe that'll be helpful for you. All right, so let's get to my crazy robot prediction. Humanoid robot basically is a robot that looks like a human. I know you've seen Tesla bots. There are multiple companies that are creating humanoid robots as we speak. Maybe you've heard of like Boston Dynamics, another really cool company called Figure. So here's what's happening. There's a perfect convergence of technology, right? It's a mix of the chips that can have what they need on board, on the robot, that they can work on their own. It's a mix of the right materials. It's a mix of the fact that AI is where it is today in order to be able to be multimodal. Multimodal meaning it can like see, hear, understand text. So you can actually like communicate with it. When I say it, I mean the robot. Give it instructions like, hey, don't pick up that, or like, hey, this is, you know, like whatever, take the apple and put it in the basket. Like, A, it knows what an apple is, B, it knows what a basket is. Like, that exists today. All of that currently exists. That's why my gut says we're ready for mass production of these robots. And we're talking about, of course, they're gonna do things that you don't wanna do. They're gonna be in, well, they already are, right? So they already are in manufacturing, but robots are gonna be in manufacturing. Like Amazon has tons of robots. Teslas are built by robots, like a giant robot factory. But now we're talking about robots in the home, humanoid robots walking around. Now it sounds crazy. Now, there could be more than the number of people on Earth. What is that, 7 or 8 billion robots? Like, is that gonna happen? I think so, and here's why. Now there's less cars than people on the planet, but if you do a Google search for the number of phones on the planet, there's more phones than humans. As robot costs much smaller than a car, robots are gonna make robots. So as the costs come down of production, you're gonna be able to create robots like you create an electronic device. That's a cell phone, right? A cell phone is almost a humanoid robot. It's just like a little bit smaller and it doesn't like move around. But it's almost there. So just imagine the production of cell phones. We don't think about that, the number of cell phones that exist, but I think that's what we're gonna have. And I think we're gonna have basically robots walking around. Imagine in your neighborhood, in the cities, in the shops you go in, humanoid robots. And it sounds really strange and it's gonna be really weird at first, but then quickly, very quickly, I think, we're gonna get used to it. You're gonna get used to it and not even pay them any attention. Kind of like driverless cars that are in the cities right now, which are basically robots, right? Robots on wheels, but driverless cars. Kind of like rewind back 100 years and talk about airplanes in the sky. What giant hunks of metal floating through the air? What are you talking about? And now you don't even bat an eye when you see it in an airplane, right? Imagine the first cars when people had horses. So we can rewind back and do that. I think we're gonna do the exact same thing with robots. So what does it all mean? What does it all mean? It means stay agile, stay innovative, don't get caught in one way of doing things, and have fun, because life's short. It's an adventure. All right, see you out there. Bye.
Business on the Bike with Brooks. Yeah.